Chapter 7. Inside the cockpit of Varix, Aces is jammed in a space behind Mica as the ship heads over a mountain range. Now that we are cruising, are you comfortable back there? It's tight, but I'll be fine. I wanted to thank you again for the ride. Did they say your brother would be okay? Did they tell you what happened? They don't know. Apparently he got shot up pretty bad, and that's why they called. He is my only living relative. When did you two last get together? It's been about 5 years. We were never really close, and after our parents died, we came together at the final ceremony. It had been 3 years since that last time we had met. What about your family, Mica? I was an orphan. They never told me about my parents. I grew up with an older scientist and his wife. They never were much for taking care of kids, but it was a roof and meals. I guess the science did rub off on me.
Aces reflected.
My dad's just cleaned up buildings. My mom was kind and gentle. If she saw me now, she would be shaking her head. They were both proud of our country and supported the army, but they were not much for fighting. The force was the chance to leave and see the world. Of course, I've ended up fighting across most of it.
For me, it provided a chance to get my science training. I learned to fight much earlier when in school. I had to defend myself from boys. We're almost there. Air control lightning coming from Air Base South. We need a guarded pad to land. Lightning, we have sent you your landing coordinates. Orders have been received and your landing is confirmed, along with the requested guards. Thank you, Air Control. Lightning out.
Okay, Aces, hang on. We will be landing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Varax landed with a bit of a jolt, and Aces could hear the powerful engines winding down. With the canopy opening, Aces could finally stand and exited with Mica just behind him. It was dark, but there was lighting. Landing pad lights were focused on the ship as 2 armed guards approached and offered a salute to Mica and Aces. Don't let anyone close to the ship without my or your commander's orders. If I find you let someone touch this ship, I will shove your head up his ass. I have sent instructions to your commander how to take care of the ship while we are gone. Mica and Aces entered a transport which pulled up. Aces leaned forward. Base hospital, stat. I'm sure he will pull through if he is anything like you. Unfortunately, he's not at all like me. He was coddled most of his life. The transport pulled up to the base hospital and Aces helped Mica out. They walked into the hospital. They walked to the reception desk. Aces looked at the receptionist. I'm here to see my brother, Tal Genrock. Room 430. Mica and Aces headed towards the lift. Genrock? Can I ask your first name? As long as it's just between the two of us. I promise. Val. Mica smiled. Nice to meet you, Val Genrock. The two exited the lift and silently walked down the hall to room 430. Entering the room, they see a man in a bed taped up and a doctor and nurse looking over him. Waiting quietly, after a few moments, the doctor turned and came over to them. I assume you're Val, his brother? Yes, I came as quickly as I could. How is he? The doctor looked at Mica and back to Aces. It's okay, Doc. You can talk in front of her. He's in pretty bad shape. The next 24 hours will tell. We have him sedated at the moment, but he is awake. Can I talk to him? Yes, but keep it short. Aces walked over to the bed. Tal, it's Val. Looks like you're in pretty bad way. Hey, brother. So this is what it takes to get us together? Don't try and talk too much. Guess I messed up again. Don't think you can get me out of this one. Don't talk like that. Doc will get you patched up and walking out of here. Good try. You know I don't have the drive like you.
You're the one to carry on the family. The doctor came over. That's enough. Tal needs his rest. Val, you and your friend can have a seat outside. Mica took Ace's hand and led him outside. Mica found 2 chairs and brought them over to sit across the hallway from the room. Can I get you anything, Aces? No, I'm fine. Tal always wanted to give up when it got tough. He would hide behind me and let me do any fighting. Now, when his life is on the line, he's giving up again, and I can't do anything about it. Mica just put her hand on Ace's as they sat quietly. Mica was dozing, sitting next to Ace's with her head on his arm. Ace's was deep in concentration with his eyes wide open. Suddenly there were a rush of nurses into Tal's room, followed by a doctor. The noise woke up Ace's and Mica. Mica gripped Ace's hand as the door closed. They waited in silence. The door opened as a nurse came out at a slow pace. Moments later, the doctor came out and looked at Ace's. I understand your relatives. I'm sorry. Nothing we could do. Ace's nodded and rose with Mica. They walked into the room to see his brother's lifeless body. A nurse came over. I will bring you his effects that he arrived with. Ace's looked at her with a sad face. Thank you. Ace's and Mica turned and went back outside and sat down. Are you okay? Yeah, I'll be fine. I need to talk to his commander. The nurse came from down the hallway. Here are your brother's effects. Not much. Most of his things will be in his barracks. Thank you. Mica, shall we go? They rose and headed down the hallway. The closer they were to the base commander's office, the more intense Aces appeared. Aces strode ahead of Mica as they approached Tal's commander's office. He ignored the secretary sitting at a desk outside and goes through the semi-open door, almost ripping it off its hinges. Sir, we need to talk. Yes, son. Do I know you? I'm Tal's brother. Yes, I just heard. Please sit down. I want to know what happened. I suspect you know he's not cut out to be a frontline grunt. I'm sorry about what happened. It hurts when we lose good men, and your brother was a good man. We had an incursion in the Eastern Quadrant, and I sent a squad to scout the area to find out if there was a push for a major force. Tal was part of that squad. There should have been no firefight. Somehow their position was exposed and a fight evolved. With the squad leaders pinned down, Tal took it upon himself to try and draw the fire away to his side. He apparently tried to attack their team from the side and was caught in the open. With a distraction, our squad was able to attack and clean out their team. He was someone that could not deal with the front lines. He should have been in the back, helping with logistics. Son, after returning from your mother's death ceremony, he wanted desperately to be like you. I don't know what happened. I agree he was not of your frontline caliber, but he tried to be like his big brother. If you want to read his review reports, I will arrange for it. He took every advantage to be the fighter you are. I've reviewed your records and I know just how good you are. I tried to hold him back, but he wouldn't let me. I take responsibility for not being stronger and holding him back, but I have lots of grunts I am responsible for. I can't coddle them or I wouldn't get my job done. Ace's anger subdued. He shook his head and looked at the commander. Thank you, sir. I'm sure you did what you could. Can I collect his belongings? Are you headed back to your unit right now? Yes, after we grab some chow. I will have them delivered to that strange vehicle I've heard about. Thank you, sir. Aces headed out of the office as Mica fell in stride with him. The two quietly walked down the hallway, headed for the chow hall. Mica and Aces sat at a table, quietly finishing eating. Thanks again for bringing me here. If I would have had
regular transport, I never would have made it in time. Mica reached across the table to put her hand on his. I would never let you take that slow transport. You're too special to me. Aces looked in her eyes, taking her hand. Do you ever dream of having more? There has to be more, but I could never walk away from the team. They sat quietly looking at each other till an orderly came by. Sorry, we have to prepare for the next meal. Aces and Mica rose and headed towards the exit. As they were about to go through the exit, Aces took Mica in his arms and gave her a hug. It meant a lot for you to be with me today. Mica gives Aces a kiss. I'm glad I could be there for you. Mica had a picture of her, Trigger, Aces, and Joker. She had taped the image to her console. She reached out to lay her hand on the picture. There were other times that helped to drive my thinking about what could be, such as when we had to fight in the far north.
If you enjoy our videos, please click Patreon on the front page and buy me a drink. Thank you.